Hello and welcome to Toilet Topics with Cody Galot. In today's episode, I'll be reviewing Dr. Stone, Chapter 14. In today's chapter, we have Senku, his kind of backstory in the sense of like what he was doing in that time frame between him awakening and everyone else. We kind of see him building shelter, but he's kind of noticing, like it's kind of mentioned in previous chapters, he's not the strongest of the bunch, so he definitely needs to try to revive someone to help with the labor that's required to rebuild society. As he's kind of talking about this, he discovers Taiju frozen, so his kind of number one priority is to try to release him from the stone and kind of figure out what's going on with that. And then we kind of get his kind of three potential scenarios on what's going on. I really enjoyed this because I think I mentioned two of these scenarios, or maybe even all three, in one of my earlier reviews. So definitely go check that out. I called it. So the first one he kind of talks about is the alien science track theory. So this is pretty much that aliens came and like kind of shot us with a beam of some kind and turned everyone to stone. I like that theory. I don't think that's what it's going to end up being, but I'm a sci-fi guy, so whenever aliens get brought up, I'm definitely there to the party. The next one is some country's military weapon theory. So some country that was wanting to, pretty much harm Japan and the rest of the world launched this weapon. It got out of control and affected everyone. And then we have the new strain, or a virus theory, so pretty much like a stone virus infected them all. Out of the three, I find the strain to be the potential with the most that I think it could possibly be. I hope it's more complex than that, but I just like how he kind of acknowledges that like some shows and TV and movies, they like a big crazy thing happens like this and then no one ever addresses it really. So I kind of like how we came back, we're already 14 chapters in and he's kind of already kind of thinking like what's going on, what caused this. So we're, as a reader, you're not just saying are they ever going to get to that question, or are we just supposed to assume that all this just happened because it happened. So I'm hoping by the end of the series or at some point we get some more explanation of what caused it, and then we kind of move on to why are the swallows only, the birds, the swallow birds are affected. I'm glad they brought this up because I even noticed this in previous chapters, because I'm like, why are the birds affected in humans but not monkeys or lions, or fish, or some of the other animals that we've seen in the series? So I'm glad they actually kind of brought this up, so you're not continually questioning like, hey, is that just an oversight they made or not? So I'm kind of glad that he realizes there has to be some kind of explanation, connection between the two. We don't get that answer yet, but I'm glad they at least addressed it. He kind of goes, Senku kind of goes deep in thought, trying to think about like the stone, like on the outside, like pieces kind of crack or whatever, and it kind of affects the outside of the skin, but the internals are all fine. So he's kind of just trying to theorize on what causes it and everything. He kind of tested out on the back, that piece that was on the back of his neck, to that cave that he was in, and he kind of realizes that melts the stone material. So he's kind of like, oh, I found the answer. He tries to test it on Taiju, but it doesn't work. So he has to kind of keep thinking like what to add to cause it to dissolve him completely. We kind of see him talk about Albert Einstein and E equals mc squared, and kind of that whole philosophy where energy can't come from nothing. I thought that was a good twist, especially since he's a big science guy. He has it on his outfit, so he's definitely like the next kind of Einstein type character for in the series. So he's definitely a brainiac. So I like how he kind of does a throwback to Albert Einstein. We kind of get this montage of him trying to do different tests on the birds, and then we kind of get towards the last chapters of the chapter where he's pretty much saying me and Taiju might be different in the sense of I'm really smart, and he's kind of more of a strong endurance type character, but we both have one thing really in common. We have a strong spirit, never to give up, so he knows that Taiju wants to wake up. This kind of switches to the present day, where it has Taiju pretty much saying the same thing as Senku saying in the past of, like, wake up, I'm not letting you give up, pretty much, and come back. And then we kind of get him opening up his eyes, and that's kind of the end of the chapter. I really enjoyed the chapter. I'm hoping we get more explanation on what caused the everyone to turn to stone, but I'm very happy with what we've gotten so far, of at least acknowledging that it did happen. I'm also kind of curious about Tsukai, if he's going to come after them or not, and any other people that potentially could be alive in the world that may have been awakened by other means. I look forward to next week's chapter. Again, I do other reviews, so please check those out on my channel at Toilet Topics. Please like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time, peace out.